Yeah, the best artists, man. The best artists really took that stage. I mean, outside that whole Beyonce conversation we just had, like, it was definitely the best of the best. Definitely one of the best award shows I've seen in a long while. I give it a strong A. It was tight, man. I really enjoyed it. It was really great. You know what I'm saying? Seeing all these great artists perform again, from Grays, who are new, to Teddy Swims, to the vets like Cynthia Erivo, and we didn't get a touch on this, but yeah, man, we knew Gaga and Bruno Mars won an award as well.
We
Died with a Smile. We did? Okay, cool. But we didn't touch on the performance yes, that they did. California Dreamin', flipping the mamas and the papas, and I swear, man, those voices blend like coffee and milk, man. It's just crazy, man. Like world-class talents, world-class voices, yes. World-class genius. So that's why it bothered me when, prior to the Grammy Awards, I was scrolling through the Shade Room and I looked at my phone and I saw that there was a Bruno Mars Sexyy Red collaboration. I laughed out loud, I ain't gonna hold you, because I knew it would infuriate Ariana, right? Now, very quick backstory. Bruno Mars and Gaga just got their number one single with Die With A Smile, because it was kept out of there by Shabuzi, Kendrick, all the Christmas songs, so we just came out of the holiday season, so it wasn't making its way to number one at all. It finally got there. Bruno was happy about it, and he was like, yo man, I need to make a strip club's anthem. Where's Sexyy Red at? And then it's like Sexyy Red appears magically in the comments, hey daddy, hey, whatever she said. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a rollout. We just didn't know it officially, but that was a rollout. All this was pre-planned. Politics as usual. All this is pre-planned. And then boom, we finally get a video. Like I was anticipating finally get a video. Why did I even say that? Well, we get the video. And Ari saw it and brought it to my attention. And I was like telling Ari, oh yeah, I knew about this. I didn't see the video, but yeah, I knew this was coming. I heard this was out. And she was mortified. Mortified. I want you to talk about this.
So, might have to clip this up. So, just to echo back, congratulations to all the Grammy winners. Again, you guys deserved it. 67th Grammys, the trend that you all are setting. I really have high hopes for where the award show is going. It definitely seems like it's on the right foot this time. And I just look forward to the talent and the next wave of artists and art to come out of this generation, this era. 2024 definitely set a precedent, so 2025 is really off to a banger so far. So that's closing up the Grammys. So I swear I'm going to hurt my sister because she's the one who sent me this. But she sent it to me with the hashtag what the F Bruno. That's how she sent it to me. And I'm like, oh, it's Bruno. Let me And I feel like it's not just you. I feel like everyone in our circle literally just goes like, yeah, let's just see what Ariana's face look like when she like sees this for real.
Yo, I was cackling, bro. I was cackling. I was like, yo, this is gonna be fun. And yo, here's the ironic thing. She showed me the video. She watched it. She couldn't believe it. Listen, Ari has a very strict rule when it comes to Sexyy Red and any rapper of the type. She don't watch their videos. She'll watch the reactors take on the video. She'll watch it secondhand.
Monetize my own view. I will freaking devalue my own.
She don't go to the actual thing.
Watch. Yeah.
But in this case, I don't know if had to was the word, but she felt compelled to.
It's because my sister sent this to me. You are off that list. You know who I'm talking about, sis. You are off that list. Every time you send me something, you better send me a commentator's reaction to it. Because I can't with you. Yes, I gave 2. Because it was 1 for me. And I was like, I'm not watching this again until I show Conquest. And then that Libby came. And I was like, JJ.
Fat, juicy, and wet. I remember watching this thing. She showed me in the kitchen. I got maybe into about
28 seconds. It was not even 30 seconds. It was like 20 something seconds. He was like,
and I was like, take this off.
Yeah, he was like,
I was just like, I was appalled. I was like, this is what we doing now, Bruno Mars? This is what we doing?
He always been a freak, but it's just like,
I ain't mad. Hey, Prince was a freak too. But come on, that's no excuse. This is. We just had a conversation about cultural appropriation. We just had a Can I talk about it? We just had a conversation about cultural appropriation and all these like weird stereotypes and how black people are perceived, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, Bruno, you gonna do this, bro? Because you're not going to do this with Gaga, who was in the video. You're not going to do this with Rose, who's in the video.
Yeah.
Who you just had 2 number 1 hits with, actually. You're not going to do this. Because here's the thing. With that Sexyy Red record, you're not going to do this with Gaga, who you just had a number 1 song with. You're not going to do this with Rose, who you just had a number 1 song with or a top 10 song with. And they're both in the video. And they're not doing what Sexyy Red is doing. Yeah. This bothered me so much. And not because I'm not a heterosexual male, bump that. It's just like, what? Like, what? There's things I can say, but it's safer coming from her because she's a woman. You know what I'm saying?
No. Listen. At Deprogrammed Podcast, we allow anyone to speak whatever they want. So it's not about being safe or not or talking about gender.
Because I got some things.
Speak on it. Go ahead. The floor is
yours. It's like, look. Yeah, I'm tired of seeing black women, particularly these kind of black women, being used as props for a minstrel show. Because that's pretty much what I got. Now, the reason why I'm breaking it down like this and saying that so harshly, because I'm sure it sounds harsh to y'all, but follow me on this, right? This song, Fat, Juicy, and Wet, is a pop song. It's designed like a pop song. It operates like a pop song. It's a pop song. It's designed to be played in your neighborhood Target or Walmart above speakers. But it has to be hella censored, though, because, I mean, the title alone, Fat, Juicy, and Wet, I don't know how you're going to censor that for Target, but they're going to find a way because it operates... They did. They found a way with WAP. So we're going to find a way with Fat, Juicy, and Wet. I mean, again, it operates as a pop song. Some, right? And as I've learned more about the song prior to this conversation on this podcast, it's supposed to be Sexyy Red's first single from her actual debut album. So it's designed for Sexyy Red. It says Sexyy Red and Bruno Mars. So it operates as a single for Bruno and Sexyy, but officially it's Sexy's first song off of her album, right? So it's a conscious effort to bring Sexyy Red into the pop world, just like they did with Cardi B, just like they did with Nicki before her, right? And so now she's not going to be just the hood princess. She's going to be the pop princess. But this is the woman you're trotting out for us. It amplifies every ridiculous stereotype for black women I could ever think of. I'm not saying that women like this shouldn't exist in hip-hop music. Obviously, we've had our descendants like Lil' Kims and the Foxy Browns and the Trinas and all those things. I'm not saying that the quote-unquote P rappers shouldn't exist either. We don't live in a sterile world. We don't live in a fully religious autocracy. We don't, the world is there for everyone. So as much as we have the ratchet rappers, we have the positive rappers and vice versa. My issue is that you are propping this woman up with one of the biggest pop stars on the planet, in my opinion. Like this is the only type of rapper we have. And that's where my problem is. It's like, y'all are not finding pop records for Rhapsody to slide on. Maybe Doechii you get that for. But no, all these pop records, these major collaborations are being reserved for rappers like Sexyy Red, who represent only one archetype and one section of what black women, or women period, look like. And I feel like that's where the problem is. Because again, you're not doing this with these other styles of rappers. And for those who probably think, well, conscious rap or more artsy rap can't sell. I mean, we talked about her earlier, Lauryn Hill, perfect example. The blueprint is there. Ari talks about this all the time. The blueprint is there. You know what I'm saying? We can debunk any argument you can make towards us as far as like, man, we only want to hear P rappers. No. P rappers are the only ones that sell. No. That's not true. That's an agenda that you guys are pushing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this song with Bruno is
pushing it under women's empowerment,
feminism, right? And you're using all these code words and all these things. Like again, like
it's just too much.
It's way too much.
It's literally bordering on the line of there's like certain criminalities that I'm sure lawyers could pick at. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is not legal counsel. But man, like,
and Bruno, why are you doing this, bro? Bruno.
I heard the argument for Bruno, like, Bruno has always been a freak, and, like, he's basically, like, living his fantasy through Sexyy Red. But then I'm just, like, I'm so tired of, why is every man's fantasy some stripper black woman? Like, why is that the thing? Like, why is she... I get her brand. I get it. Mm-hmm. I get her brand. I didn't mean to segue off your subject.
No, you did.
Go ahead and take it.
Just
go ahead and wrap up what you were saying.
I hear you as far as the brand is concerned. We gonna hit that question, but I have a coworker. His name is Godfrey. Shout out to him. We were talking about Bruno Mars yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that Bruno is such a brilliant musician. I'm waiting for him to make great music, great music because it's betraying his gift. He is a world-class artist in every single aspect. And he's making music that's beneath him. And that's what troubles Godfrey. It's like, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, listen, again, the closest comparison I can think of, if we're talking freak talk, is Prince. Prince made Sign of the Times. As well as Darling Nikki. He made Diamond and Pearls.
Pretty Red Corvette.
Yes. Come on, like, Bruno is more than capable. So I'm not saying that Bruno can't make the Ratchet records. We love the Bruno Ratchet records, but also make some other records that could even speak to an album of the year conversation like we were talking about before. Like, again, you have a blueprint yourself. His name is Prince Rogers Nelson. You know what I'm saying? He's done it. And I'm sure there's other artists, the Rick James. We could go.
He has his own blueprint. He's won album of the year before.
Yeah.
He won it for 24K Magic, you said, right?
Yeah. Definitely a party album though. But whatever. It's fine.
Great. I like that. Yeah.
I like it too. I just, y'all are being used. Either y'all don't know you're being used or you're willfully being used. But you're killing the culture this way. Again, it's not about Sexyy Red not existing. It's being made to look like she's the only one that exists. Hear what I just said? Not about her existing, but being made to look like she's the only one that exists. That this is the gold standard of rap music. This is the only style of rap music for women. You know what I'm saying? Because we've wanted women to take over or be impactful in the game for a long time before we can find a female rapper outside of one person. At one point, Nicki was the only rapper. That's how she became the best. She was the only one. She was literally killing her competition. Now we got a gang of female rappers that's running the game. It's just that they all look the same. They all sound the same. Same rhetoric. P rappers. There might be some differences, but it's mainly them running it. Meanwhile, Rhapsody's now getting her first Grammy. They're really trying to push Doechii out there. There's a Lil Sims out there that's yet to be discovered in a mainstream, commercial, universal way. And there's tons of others that's being buried by the P rapper that now Bruno Mars has put on a pop song, which is probably going to go to number one. And heard in every strip club across America.
That'd be a travesty.
Yeah. So that's my rant on that.
Yeah. I cried.
She did.
I cried. I had to cry and laugh.
Very disappointed. I've never seen you that disappointed in a long time. You felt hurt by this, I feel.
Yeah, because it... Okay. Just to make my point clear, I don't feel like Bruno needs to aspire to a Grammy. If this is the music that makes Bruno Mars happy, that is my thing.
Okay.
Whatever makes you happy is what makes you happy.
Okay.
If you're marketing it, we live in a free market. The market will decide whether you are successful in your product or you're not.
Right. Mm.
But let's just say this is the music that him and Lady Gaga and Sexyy Red want to make. Cool. What disappointed me the most was when we looked up their net worth.
Ooh,
Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga together are worth $500 million.
Say it again.
Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga together are worth $500 million together.
Mm-hmm.
Sexyy Red is less than $1 million. I've seen, we're talking about blueprints. We've seen the rollout with Cardi B and Bruno. We've seen how they can transition the P rapper, which was Cardi B at one point, into the pop P rapper, which was Cardi B with Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
Cardi B dialed down with Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
She actually got more classy with Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she was rapping the same stuff, her aesthetic changed with Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why. And let me not say that. I do understand. I understand why Sexyy Red basically went and made a Sexyy Red video. That's her brand. She's always been the stripper with bare feet. She's the bare feet in the video. She's wearing red. It's like, get it sexy. The taglines are there.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all couldn't give her better production. Like, you couldn't put more. You couldn't have made the stripper video of her dreams.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. They could have made it so conceptually wild that we'd be like, wait, this is Sexyy Red? Like, where we double back and be like, wait, like,
I shouldn't like this, but I do.
yeah, like, I shouldn't be vibing with this because of how I know the context is and what she raps about, but man,
dang, this is good.
So good. Like, undeniable art.
Right.
Art. Not a show. Not a show.
No, bubble machine.
That bubble machine had me. You can see the bubble machine off screen. You can see the big bubble that I was like, y'all didn't even care to push the bubble machine back. It was almost like they had like a black room, a warehouse, and they were just like, yeah, do it.
That's exactly what it was.
Couch, green screen, do it. Mm-hmm. And then the sad part about it is, like you said before, does Sexyy Red know she's being used? And then if she knows she's being used, does she care? Because I'm not saying that Sexyy Red has to care about culture and upkeeping culture. That's us. That's the majority. That's the people who put their dollar there. Mm-hmm. We control that. Mm-hmm. If we keep giving a dollar to Sexyy Red under the whole guise of feminism and black people feeling empowered or whatever they were using for the P movement, it was like empowerment with women or whatever. No, it makes us look like objects. It makes us look like, oh,
makes us look
don't
crazy.
You know that all black women are every man's fantasy? You know when they used to think that way in slavery? They used to think that way. It looked like an auction. It looked like, how come if they are so empowered, how come you didn't see Lady Gaga in a stripper outfit?
Right.
How come you didn't see Bruno Mars in his drawers?
Right.
Why, when they came out, they was in suits? Why Bruno Mars in the janitor outfit? Mopping up wet. That's what he mopping up. But you didn't see him degrade. You didn't see them degrade their out. You didn't see them degrade their brand. You didn't see them come down and say, but they're rooting on Sexyy, and Sexyy the only one splitting in suits.
It was a caricature.
Lady Gaga came out in fur coat. What was it called? Apachia? Whatever you call that coat. I can't remember what this is called anymore, but it's like a pacha or something like that. Like when it's like really big and fur. It's, again, yes. Yeah, they could have. It really hurt.
Shameful.
And it was very shameful. It was very disappointing. It was very disappointing because I don't care for Sexyy Red to uplift the culture.
That's not what we look for her for that.
And Conquest knows this. You know why it's disappointing? Because I saw this happen like 10 years ago. I saw the way that they were transitioning this maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, people must say, you talk to John them all the time. I used to talk about that Nicki Minaj was a start.
Right.
That's why I gave my testimony that I was supposed to be Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj was the start of them pushing that, and then feminism just happened to line up. Feminism just happened to line up with their agenda of the P rapper.
Yep.
And they use... Think about it. If feminism wasn't here, if feminism wasn't a thing, where would P-Rapper go? It wouldn't go anywhere. They use feminism and the empowerment of women to back that image. Oh, if you see them naked, why are you so worried about them being naked for? They're empowered. We see your pee slinging all over the place. No, you don't. I dare someone to walk into a Starbucks and whip out a pee in front of me. I'm kneeing it. I swear to goodness, it's kids here. Like, it's like you're not at Starbucks.
That's my kids. Hey, that's my kids.
Look, this is like what's gonna happen. The air's gonna come off.
Oh my God! Exactly.
I remember Henry. Shout out to my babe. Henry sat here and was just like, yeah, if you ever want to make someone stop in their tracks, whip out your pee. He said they're gonna think you crazy or they're gonna run. That's what they're gonna do. He said they're gonna stay there. They're gonna run. And I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about.
Has Henry said that?
Yes. He said he said if I ever want people just to leave me alone, I'm just gonna whip it out. That's what he said. And I'm sitting here going like. He was like, babe, what would you do if someone whipped it out? I was like, I'm gonna knee them in the, what do you mean? Like, that's so...
I'm gonna knee him in the gonads.
He said in the Starbucks. I'm like, in a Starbucks? No! In Walmart and Target? You talking about it getting played in Target. I'm gonna knee you in the nut. You're not gonna have none. You're not gonna have none. So I don't understand on the female equivalent how that's supposed to be empowering when I haven't seen... Again, it's the doublespeak. We're going right back to the doublespeak again. How is feminism empowering by making women naked and objectifying them?
It don't work.
You're just pushing the neck. You're pushing what you always thought of black women. That's what you're basically doing. You're pushing the stereotype of what you always thought of us.
Yep.
Oh, Sexyy Red, we're going to give Sexyy Red $500 million network of network. We're going to give Sexyy Red, not Rhapsody, not Sims, not Doechii. Mm-hmm. They could have did... Doechii was hot last year too. Mm-hmm. He could have pulled Doechii well before he started working on the project.
She had a pop song with... A pop hit with Kodak Black before she even dropped the mixtape that brought her acclaim.
They are worth $500 million. Their scouts are everywhere. They could have went and said, "Hey, listen." Now, mind you, we wouldn't have got Alligator Bites Never Heal probably, so it happened in divine order in the way that it was supposed to.
Katy Perry got Doechii with her comeback album. Katy Perry had the comeback album this year,
you're right.
and she got Doechii on the singles. It didn't do well, but I mean, again, if Katy Perry
could do it, Lady Gaga and Bruno could do it. Yeah. Again, you're talking $500 million, and it looked like just an auction show of them looking like, oh, look at our little black girl. Look at what she can do. Doesn't she entertain you? Look at how she twerks in her suit. Like it reminded me of the most modern day version of what an auction looks like.
Minstrel show, guys.
No. I'm bringing it back to slavery, an auction show. Like they were trying to sell Sexyy Red. Yeah. Like as a woman, like, oh. Can you imagine her being in? Yeah, can you imagine her being in your bedroom? Can't you imagine her this, that, and the third? Can't you? Oh, wouldn't that look nice on your couch? Wouldn't that? And they're behind her, and you're just what? And I'm just like, this.
The optics is crazy.
This don't rub nobody the wrong way. This don't. And again, it's very. I had to laugh. I had to cry, but I had to laugh because I was just like, I saw this coming years ago. And I was just like, man, we're finally here. And that's the thing that disappointed me. Mm-hmm. But the thing that the Most High always does is that the Most High is always balanced. Mm-hmm. And at the same time that made me upset, I was also able to see that people like Rhapsody and them was getting their recognition. I was just like, oh, so the genre is balancing out. I don't see this really lasting long for them. I see this P rapper thing being done.
So I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. When all this news broke and the video dropped and we were having our think tank about Fat, Juicy, Wet, right? I came across another podcast, the Rory and Moore podcast, and their third mic, Damaris, has some thoughts on this song and the feeling about Sexyy Red. And one of the things she said, to paraphrase, maybe I might show the clip, maybe I won't, but she said something to the effect of, listen, if you think that Sexyy Red is a representation of the degrading of black women, then you've always thought this about black women. What's your take on that?
I don't think that's true. Because if that's the case, then do we then not look at people like Viola Davis and them and not use them as a standard too? I just don't like the doublespeak of that either. You can see what we allow, and this is what And this is why I don't understand about our people like that. Especially if you're going to group us as being black people together. If you're going to group us as black people together, I don't understand why we're so ready to hold that title of us being black, us being together, and then when black people are shown like that, we're quick to discredit them. You have to claim them too. You have to claim Sexyy Red, because Sexyy Red is black as they come. So as a sister, what do you now do to then say, okay, we don't like this. We do not push this. That's what you have to say. It's not about how can we not represent? She just as black as us.
Right.
What other categories are you giving her to say, oh, she's not like every black woman? She brown skin. She got big lips. I mean, are we going stereotypical? Are we going physical? Like, what are we doing? What's the metric?
Right.
Because she's brown. So it's just like you can't sit here and say, oh, if you thought that way black women. So you tell me the difference.
So you're saying it's
between
like
her physically and Viola.
So you're saying like, hey, you can't be like, well, we're proud of women like the Angela Bassett's and the Viola Davis and these other people, reputable, the Beyonce's representing us. But it's like, if a Sexyy Red is trotted out there, and it's like, well, yo, don't use her don't use her as a measuring stick. We can use these women as a measuring stick, but we can't use it.
Right.
Don't
Everyone outside the culture should know who's in the culture. How would anyone on the outside of the culture know what you bumping with? No one would know. It's what we put. We put it out there. So no, that's not true. The agenda is that when you put Sexyy Red out there, it's that black people approved it first. Before they pushed it, we approved it. Don't act like we don't have a lot about it. I just came from a Nicki Minaj concert. She had one that sold out Madison Square. Ain't nothing but brown and black people there. And a couple occasional pinks. Black and brown people there, and only a couple pink people. Couple men, mostly women. If Sexyy Red is being pushed, anyone outside the culture is going to be like, oh, black people are okay with this. That's what they're going to think first. The same way that when we see Viola, and we see Issa, Rae, and we see Rhapsody, and we see what's her name? Angela Bassett. Even you can go on about the people who are
the people.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? The Zendayas. Yeah, we can go down the
more. We can go on and on. Now all of a sudden, oh, those are okay. They're both. Everyone outside the culture is just like, well, hey, listen. If they claim to be black, then y'all approved it. Y'all approved it.
Right. No, and when we don't approve it, we make that known too. Drake, AKADEMIKS.
Where's the backlash for Sexyy Red? Because we did it for Drake. In fact, that's not even true. Kendrick had to come pretty hard for Drake. Black people have an amazing gift of being so forgiving. And I think that is sometimes the crux of us, because Kendrick had to make Drake unforgivable. Kendrick had to make Drake a criminal. Kendrick had to make Drake touch kids for us to be like, oh nah. What Sexyy Red could? She is objectifying you. That is what she's allowing other people. Again, no. If what she's saying is true. Oh, if that's the case, you always thought about black women that way. What would you say about black men who think about black women that way?
I mean, right now Drake is prepping a brand new album with Party Next Door called "Some Sexy Songs for You" for Valentine's Day.
I'm sorry.
She didn't know that. I was keeping that in the back pocket because I saw it last night. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything until I hit the podcast. He put the trailer out. He's dropping on February 14th. Some sexy songs for you with Party Next Door.
Sexyy Red on it. We already know where Drake stands, so it's just like we already know this.
The trailer's him. He's in the back somewhere. He's sitting like on the couch, and there's a bunch of women around him, and it looks like I don't know what he's doing, but that's how he's trying to come back to the game, ladies and gentlemen.
No, he not gonna realize until he dropped this album that he's done. He's finished. Drake is not coming back, guys. I'm just let it be here, let it be said here. Drake is not coming back. He's not bouncing back from this. He's gonna have a hard time realizing that was the collapse of his career. He's gonna have a hard time. His ego's gonna have a hard time with him accepting that. But no, it's not that. And I feel like people use that as an excuse. Oh, if you thought that way about black people, if you thought that way about black women, then you always felt that way. No, that's not true, because that's an excuse. When you see it there, you end it. When you see it there, you kill it, because you don't give people the chance. You don't give people the chance. why is she allowed to be propped up this way? You can't give me a good reason.
Can't give me a good reason at all.
Feel good music? Man, listen, guy. Okay. Me and Conquest has a conversation. P is P. I don't know if y'all noticed that. I don't know if y'all around the block or not. Some might be. Can I get a little real? Can I get raw?
Hey, man.
I'm getting a little real and raw.
Season 2. Season 2.
P is tight. P is good. P is wet. Some P is not. P is P. It's the same way y'all think about D. Some D long, some D short, some D is wide, some D is narrow, but the D is the D. Get extensions, get a toy. It's just like it's all P. It ain't nothing happening. If they are passionate, they will make it work. I'll say that again for the adults who are here, and maybe even the single ones, or even in a relationship. If you passionate about your partner, you're gonna make it happen.
You're gonna find a way.
You're gonna make it happen. Ain't a better coming to Jesus than when someone passionate about you. Ain't no better coming. Pun on coming. Ain't no better coming to Jesus than that. P is P. I don't understand the appeal. How much can you talk about P until you're just like, man, like, I get P is power. Is that the whole thing? Like P is power. P is great.
Power.
P.
That's what they call it.
I get it. Guys, P is P. P is P.
Now listen, man. Wars have been waged because of that.
I was going to say, and we can get there just for a second. Yes, that is true. And to be frank, a lot of this has to deal with the men spending a lot of money for P they'll never touch. It has a lot to do with that. The responsibility falls on both sides. All I'm circling back to is that we have to stop using that as an excuse to let people like Sexyy Red go by. Oh, well, if you thought that way about us, you always thought that way about... No, you should care enough of what people think about you when that is your stance on things. If you want people to sit here and be like, oh, well, we want black women to be respected, then how could you not care what people think about you? You're double speaking. You cannot care about respect from other people and then say what they think don't matter. You're double speaking against yourself. It's okay to care about people's opinions. You care when it's a business. You care about what your boss think about you. You care about what your coworkers think about you. You care about how you guys get along. You care about what your friends think about you. You care about what your parents think about you. It's okay to care. When people say, I don't care about what you think, they mean like when they're living on authentic stuff, like I'm happy. And if you're not happy for me, then F you. That's basically what people are saying.
That's what they're saying, right?
But people care about people. You know how many people live happy and then they realize that they don't have nobody?
It's the worst.
Then you know the cost of your happiness, right? Like, oh wow, me being happy in this means I don't have nobody next to me. That's what that means. Now you can decide now if you know that is what makes you happy.
Right.
Now you have to figure out, like Sexyy Red, for example. Hey, there was a OnlyFans model who actually came out maybe last year, who when she started doing OnlyFans, her family abandoned her. I use the word abandoned. They left. And they actually had a discussion with her saying, hey, listen, we do not approve. And we will no longer talk to you. We will no longer text you. We will no longer have communication with you because you're so famous and you're famous for this that when we go out to lunch with you, we're embarrassed. People are running up to you. You're out with your dad. And men older than your father are coming for autographs to the thing that we know you're selling. That's weird. It makes us uncomfortable. She victimized it. You can't, if it makes you happy, you have to know the cost of what makes you happy. If you're happy being an OnlyFans model, then your cost was your family. That was your cost. You can't get mad at that. You can't have both. It's the greediness of it.
You can't.
Sexyy Red, if you want to be objectified and stuff like that, that's fine. Black women, I think, should do more of a better job of having the same outcry that we're kind of seeing for Drake in that example, where it's just like, yo, we don't accept this. And I'm going to use this platform to talk about it. We don't accept that. There's not enough of a balance. There's not enough of promoting the great things about what's happening with women in hip hop for Sexyy Red to be on $500 million worth of production. $500 million worth of production, and they gave her a warehouse and a couch.
It was fat juicy.
I think the most expensive thing in that set we talked about was the cat. The cat is $3 to $5 grand. It's a Persian something.
Yeah, the one was being.
Yeah, call it my pet. That's probably Bruno's real cat. He brought it from his house, wherever they shot.
Bruno's a Gaga. That's winning.
Yeah, Gaga.
That might be.
It might be Gaga. It might be Gaga's cat. But the cat looks scared. You're like, what are you doing?
He took me out of my home for this.
And And you know it's an expensive pillow too. He's like, your hands is not my pillow.
Yeah.
Your hands are not. So again, just wrapping that up. No, I think that's an excuse. I think that's an excuse. Yeah, I think that's an excuse. No, I don't think if people think that all black women are like that, that means they always thought that. Yes, there are some people who use that as confirmation, but here's the thing: why do we allow it to get out in the first place? It's like we want all the title and none of the responsibility. If you're going to claim that Black Lives Matter to you, then Sexyy Red has to be just as much as your sister as Viola.
Facts.
You have to care about what's getting pushed out there, and if not, again, like you said, if title is a crutch and you don't want to be seen, if black is too much of a responsibility, then stop claiming it.
Yeah.
I never, and this is just a side, I've never been more black and felt more racist than what I feel now. Like, I used to only just brand me. Then when I started saying, oh, you have a responsibility, but I'm just like, oh, so I'm black now. Like, I'm real black. I used to just think I was Trini. For a long time in my life, I used to just think I was Trinidadian. Like, oh, my family from Trini. I'm Trinidadian. You see what I'm saying? But now it's just like, oh, black. I'm just like, yo, not every woman me. I already know this. The Bible already said be the best you, not to be the best black woman. Like, right. The Bible did not say be the best of your race. That's not what they said. They said be the best you. That's all you're responsible for being is the best you. The only brand I have is my name. But if I take on these responsibilities, I have to know everything that comes with that responsibility. If I take on being a black woman, I don't have to take on the fact of being a black woman. I don't have to take on being a woman. I can say I'm human. I'm human. I'm alive. Like, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. I claim being black. I claim being a woman. So I have to take on those battles as my own. Right. The minute I don't want to, I just don't have to have the title anymore.
That's it.
So
we're gonna hit one more thing before we close out, man. But we had to do a quick deep dive on that, man, because that's atrocious on so many levels.
Yeah, it is. Please boycott that. I don't know what boycotting it. Don't give it another view. Don't TikTok it. Don't splice it. Don't dance to it. Don't stop. Just stop. What? Just stop. Get some help. Is that what my
Get some help.
Get some help.
Get some help.
Bruno, shame.
And
Lady Gaga too, because I'm not gonna act like you not in there too. Lady Gaga, shame on you too.
Gaga, I saw you at the Grammys. I saw the commercial. That was a video. We know how you can make a video.
And just sorry, last point. I get that Bruno and Lady Gaga do not have a responsibility to protect Sexyy Red. They don't have that responsibility. That's not her parents. That's not her family.
Yeah, it's business. Politics is
business,
usual.
and like you said, politics as usual. But there has to be some, and I think that's the thing that saddened me, is that I realized how unprotected she was. That there was no one who basically gave her a second guess. Like, hey, listen, before you do this, do you want to maybe change this? You were just around a whole bunch of people who just didn't care about nothing but the bag. They didn't care about nothing but money, nothing. But that's what okay, so that's the circle back. At $500 million, y'all that desperate for a bag? At $500 million, you're that desperate for a bag?
It's insane.
The girl is worth less than $1 million. She's worth less than $1 million. She went down with Drake. She's worth less than $1 million. And you guys are worth $500 million, and that's how desperate you are.
Yeah, man.
To get back in the pop, to get back in. Everyone care about a bag that much. If they care about the bag that much, they will never care. They won't care about you.
Ari, it's like you said before, man. To think that you're going to get into this business of music and think it's just going to be all peaches and cream and roses and dandelions is naive on anybody's part, man. It's like you need to have a team around you to look out for your best interest. You have to protect you and your art and everything else, because these cats don't care. It's like you said about Doechii, man. If they can find Doechii drugged up and stuff, we are going to use her until we can't use her.
They're going to use it as a card against you.
Right, and they're going to recycle her, or, it'll be recycled to the next.
Diddy's just the one who got caught.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Those tactics have been used since the beginning of time. Oh, you have an addiction? Oh, no, we won't judge you while they videotaping you through a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we'll never judge you. No, you can snore in front of us. That's fine. The minute you say, hey, listen, I'm not down with this. I'm done with this. Oh, well, before you go, let me just play you something, because I was looking back at our old times. And they play you snorting the cocaine. And be like, so are you sure you want to leave? They always use that as your card for real. That's what they always do. So Sexyy Red is just a black woman who they don't have to pull a card on, because she is what the card would have been. She willfully participates. Yeah.
Speaking of participation.
I'm sorry, your transitions be too much.
A young streamer was online participating in a conversation with men who he looked up to. This young streamer thought that, hey, I'm in the company of my idols, my heroes. One of them being the infamous AKADEMIKS, cultural critic, and I use that term loosely, cultural journalist, and I use that even more loosely. Drake's whipping boy and cheerleader. Yeah, so
whipping boy for sure.
So yeah, long story less long. AKADEMIKS has been caught out there. Presumably him and Tory Lane's manager, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Yeah, they were out here like talking crazy to a 15-year-old, talking real spicy to a 15-year-old who had the wherewithal. Perverted. Well, yeah, I'm being sarcastic, wildly so. They were the 15-year-old kid was a moderator for I believe a famous streamer known as Playboy Max.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the only adult in the room. Literally the only adult in the room, because he gave these men outs throughout their dialogue, like, yo, I'm not gay, I don't do this, you're talking crazy to me, this is not cool, I'm embarrassed, aren't you embarrassed? Like, that was the whole conversation. Long story less long, as of right now, AKADEMIKS is banned off Twitch, which I believe it was where the conversation was happening, and he's looked at even worse than he's been looked at before.
We can actually put a clip in here because that won't be copyrighted.
Right.
So if you want to show them the story and stuff like that, you can put it there.
Right here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you just saw that, right? It's insane, but not surprising. He's tried to apologize, did a terrible job at apologizing.
He actually said he's not going to apologize. He's not going to apologize.
He said he learned from the situation. Oh, yes. So he made 2 attempts in an apology, right? And that one you just cited?
That was the first one.
That was the first one. And then he came back again because even AKADEMIKS' fans, and you got to credit AKADEMIKS' fans, even they said, you know, we with the shenanigans, but this right here, this was beyond the pale. Like, no, we don't do this, you know. And again, you hate the thing that's scary, because I actually watched a lot of this through Curtis King's reaction to it, and Curtis King looked like he wanted to jump through the screen and strangle and choke AKADEMIKS to death. Shout out to Curtis King. What's scary is that, if this guy could talk this crazy on a platform where he knows he's being recorded, imagine what he's saying when he's offline. This is a guy who has been caught out there with his relationships with women, screaming, I am the prize, choking women out, pushing them, being very, very, very aggressive for somebody who looks like a lame.
For some of us who know, too, there was a whole live that went completely under the radar. It's almost like people have short-term memory of where there was a woman screaming for bloody murder in the back of his room. And that's the woman that he has a case with for the rape charges.
There you go.
And you heard it on Twitch, like you heard it live of her screaming in pain, and him just going about it like it's normal while they were running a whole train on her in the back.
That's what's happening. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
He's not lame. He's wicked. He's not lame is like people who are kind of innocent, naive. They don't know what they're doing is unpopular, or that they're trying to be so cool that they basically are like coming off inauthentic.
But that's lame. I think, but that's the thing. But you just actually made my point, because it's like the way this guy comes off online, he's a lot of tough talk, a lot of bravado, and it's just like, dude, you're not that. You're not that.
He gets off on women. He thinks he's tough because of how he treats women.
Yes, yeah. Which is lame. It was so crazy. But I ain't got too much to say on this, except for the fact that the streaming community, y'all need to police that too. Like, a lot of these guys
be saying this communities for real. So black community, we need to start policing it. Streaming community, whatever the community is at the end, If you really care about your community, policing is a big part of it. Policing is a huge part of protecting your people.
Because Akademiks started to prop himself like, yo, I speak for the culture.
No, he was uncancelable. Which is another good comment when someone said, like, he really started to say, like, there's nothing I can say. He
got gassed for that complex list. He was put number one. He thought, yo, I'm a journalist. I'm that guy.
I'm the king. I'm the God.
Yeah.
I'm the Messiah. I'm the Yahweh.
Napoleon complex on tilt. And it was like, nope. You can come down to
like anybody else.
Yeah, what I love is the fact that they started doing this thing called, I think it's called something like the Culture United. And I love the fact that Justin Hunt was able to get all the major cultural influencers together to talk about the culture and police the culture. Justin Hunt has 3-hour, 4-hour streams with Curtis King, Chilling with Moni.
Yes.
The FD Signifier, Fantano, all these people just talking who really care about the culture and stuff like that. I love seeing that. That's amazing.
One day you'll have us.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I speak that into existence. But I love, Ari talks about this all the time. Unions, communities, boards of directors, and stuff like that for certain cultures and aspects of art. We need to see more of that, and maybe we'll see less, participation trophies given out. We'll probably see less cultural appropriation until we'll see less
criminal activity.
Right.
Because I'm going to call it what it is. It's
criminal activity.
He talked to an underage minor about sex. That is criminal. That's criminal. I don't know what state they were doing it in, but I think there's a handful of states that 15 is the age of consent. I think the lowest we have in the States is 14. I think Arkansas or something like that is 14.
Even if it was above
he was talking to a minor about sexual activity. That is a crime. That makes him a pedophile. If y'all don't want to call it what it is, I will call it what it is, because I stand 10 toes down on everything I'm saying. He's a pedophile. He needs to be locked up, and they just have a freaking agenda to prove Kendrick right about everything they were saying about them, because they said once a lame, always a lame. And
his predators moving flocks.
Right behind Drake, and he said the predators moving flocks. It was a whole gang of them. There was like 6 of them. And the one kid. And the kid had more common sense and more maturity than all 5 of them combined. And these are adult men. We're not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, academics, he's 36, 35?
Let me look up Akademiks' age.
Y'all got me having high pitch. He's 35 or something. Talking to someone 20 years and then he's talking about how he's not going to apologize because listen, Akademiks, let's just say what you're saying is true. And you're saying, oh, I'm not going to apologize.
35 years old. He's really 35. I'm not going to
apologize because this is what happened to me. You sound just like Stevie Knight. Stevie Knight, I'm going to say something to y'all. What happened to y'all was also pedophilia. You guys were also supposed to be protected. You were not supposed to be losing your virginity at 11. You were not supposed to be in a strip club at 13. Like, that is not protecting the kids. You are more an adult. If God blesses you, you are more of an adult in your life than you're ever a child. That is why we protect children. You are a child for, 15 years of your life? 16?
Imagine I'm going to read part of the article. It says, over the weekend, I'm reading let me make sure. Yeah, Fox 11 article. Over the weekend, DJ AKADEMIKS was on live stream with a 15-year-old boy who was reportedly moderating the Discord app. DJ AKADEMIKS invited the teen into the conversation and started asking him a series of graphic and inappropriate questions. In the disturbing video, DJ AKADEMIKS asked the teen if he would let the live streamer Playboy Max, who he works for, seduce him.
No, not seduce him, F him.
Well, no, but that's...
I know, they go on things guys, the clip will be there.
Playboy Max said he wanted to try such and such with you. Would you let Playboy Max such and such you?
F you.
No. The boy said, why not? DJ AKADEMIKS asked him why... You always wanted me to be the next to you. I could be inside of you. No. Pause.
Like, that excuses everything that you said before that.
These are the guys that are the most influential people in the culture. It has to stop. And again, it's like there's so many other people who are creative, who are funny, who are entertaining, who are potentially great influencers and can bring so much more to the culture, and these guys don't get those type of looks that academics get. And you know what? I'm gonna stand 10 toes down. We are one of them. I'm gonna go on record, man. Listen, again, like I said, there's a lot of people who don't get these looks. Certain podcasters don't get these looks. I'm gonna go on record, man. I feel like as conversationalists in the podcast game, I feel like we are one of those ones, and will be proven to be one of those ones, because I feel like we are not afraid to talk about certain things that people are afraid to talk about because of their political connects. We don't do political connects. I think that as a rapper, and I can also add other rappers that I know, I feel like we're some of the best to do what we do. It's just that we don't have the opportunities and the looks that other artists get. And it's not a jealousy thing, it's just what it is, and we understand that we're going to continue to be excellent at what we do. But the problem is that the people that you prop above us are literally criminals. Why do you allow this to happen? Why do you let degenerates rule the culture? Because he's a degenerate. Anybody who's 35 who can talk to somebody 20 years their junior like this is a degenerate. But you let the degenerates run the culture. You let the criminals run the asylum. That's insane to me. And this stuff needs to be policed. This stuff needs to be stopped. Because again, you're allowing people who can uplift the culture, still entertain, still motivate, elevate, be on the sidelines, and letting this clown run the asylum. It's inexcusable that we've allowed this to happen.
That's
we talked about that.
We have to put the responsibility back on us.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm saying with the saying we. If you're taking on the community, then academics is our problem, and he's the problem we created.
Mm-hmm.
He's the problem we created. I am a very big advocate of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna claim the community, you gotta claim everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just claim the good things about it and ditch the bad stuff.
Yep.
As claiming to be a person of color and a black and brown woman, or whatever the phrase is now,
mm-hmm.
minority, whatever,
mm-hmm.
we made academics our problem. I'll say we. I never get to do the view, but because I claim my community, I'll say we. Maybe I didn't speak up enough. Maybe I didn't sit here maybe 5 years ago and be like, no, academics is a lame. We've always known this. I thought you guys knew that he's a character. I thought we knew that he was the over-exaggerated version of himself. I assumed everyone knew what I knew. Mm-hmm. That's an assumption on me, because when you know something, you're not supposed to be quiet. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be loud. That's something that they don't tell you, and I get why, because society wouldn't be able to profit the way that they do. But when you know something, you're supposed to stand 10 toes down on it, like you know it, and you're supposed to be loud about it.
I think certain people try to mentor him.
Absolutely.
I feel like the Joe Buttons tried to mentor him. I feel like the Charlemagne the Gods tried to mentor him. But I think when you try to mentor someone, and this is even from personal experience, when you try to mentor somebody, you have to realize that certain people don't want to be mentored. Yeah,
absolutely. They have to want the help.
Yeah.
But the thing is that academics would have gotten that if the consumer wasn't behind him, making him feel better or making him feel more empowered than what he actually was.
Yeah.
So that's why I meant we. When I'm saying we, I mean we the consumer. I'm sure there's people who reached out to him who said, hey, listen, like, let me try to steer you here. Let me give you advice on this. And he was just like, nah, like, I'm making bread. It always come back to money. I'm making money. I'm good. I'm fine. No, you're not, because that money is the most fragile thing you have. Mm-hmm. Your reputation is more than your money. Mm-hmm. Your title is more than your money. Academics was known to be a great commentator. I know No Life Shaq got on a he did a whole diss track about him. It's so funny. But not No Life Shaq. I'm sorry. Screwface John. Screwface John did a whole diss.
He got two of them.
It was so great. It was great. But even in that space, academics became something to where, if you're going to be like this, fine. I feel like we're going into, again, another generation to where you have to be a good person on top of being what you're great at. You have to try. Academics doesn't look like he did any work on himself past 14, maybe past the age he got touched, which is common for a molest victim. It's common for a molest victim to stop at the age to where that event occurred mentally. They don't grow up past it. And then you're sitting here like Stevie Knight told on himself in his commentary about this. But I was just like, you don't grow up past the age that something like that happens to you. You have to go to therapy. Yeah. And let's not even say you have to have people who really care to be your therapist, even without the title. hey, listen, do you know mentally that that's not okay? Do you know mentally you're not 15 anymore, Act. When you lost your virginity at 15, it's almost like you didn't grow up past 15.
Right.
You're not 15 anymore, you're a 35-year-old man. That's why you treat women the way that are your age. That's why you treat them like that. Because no woman your age will get with you. You're too immature, you're too young mentally. So guess what? You get angry at them because they say that you're not worth the time when all of your money is saying that you are. All your money is saying, oh, well, I could get any girl. No. Didn't y'all know that was a lie that was fed to men too? I've seen a lot of rich men get turned down. Like a lot of them. Run up in the Lamborghinis and everything and be like, yo, you can't get with me. Not because of your money, because you are not ready. You are not ready mentally, spiritually. You are not ready in every other capacity, intellectually.
Yeah.
You're not ready. Your money is just one part of you. Academics is the fall of that, and we have to be grateful that it does. But I'm just going to bounce back to something you said. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't be doing you guys this. This is called Your Deprogrammed Podcast. You know what the play on that is? We deprogram ourselves. We go against what might be the popular opinion just to give ourselves a devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. And we come back to you with what we think is the most authentic opinion about it. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't be doing you guys a service if we had any type of political affiliations or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That was an oath that me and Conquest made before we even started this show. Mm-hmm. We are one of those people who will stand out unapologetically on things that we think about. Because you deserve it. Our viewers deserve it.
Yeah.
Academics is what he is. He is a criminal. He needs to get locked away. He already has a case. He's going to lose it because the woman already did a kit that they were trying to downplay, but they already proved that Act was in her with a couple other guys. So let the story be told that these people are criminal. They are criminal. Yes, is there a sympathy for them? Yes, because Academics is only doing to him or doing to others what was done to him at a young age.
Right.
He was also touched. He was also molested. And maybe in jail, there will be like a therapist or something like that comes and talks to him and tells him, hey, listen, you only talking to 15-year-olds because when did you say you lost your virginity? At 13?
Yeah.
Of course you're going to do that. You're going to think talking to a 15... Oh, that's what his first apology was. Oh, I'm not going to apologize for talking to a grown man. He's 15. He's not a grown man.
He's not a grown man.
He's not a grown man.
No,
in our community that was of the past. Our parents were struggling.
And if it was in our community,
it definitely was about getting women.
And if it was in our community, it was wrong.
Yeah, because you know how they were. Because again, I grew up with those brothers, and I'm sure you did too. At 15 years old, there was some men that was running the house, but it's because their father left their mothers alone, and their mothers were struggling, holding down the house by themselves. The mothers wasn't sitting here talking about, oh, the more women you have, the better. No one cared about that. The young man stereotype and the young man of the house in black culture came from helping out the single mothers in bringing another income into the home. Black men rushed to go to work to help the mothers that were abandoned by their husbands or boyfriends or whoever else, sperm donor, whatever you want to call them. Whatever you want to call them, young men stepped up to help their moms. That's the young son era that he's talking about, and Act wasn't that. So he's using that story basically to say, oh yeah, well, that's a young man at 15. How? His mother and his father there. They're trying to protect his innocence. They don't have him working out in the street like how your mother had you. They're not struggling. He's streaming and making his own money. You have to be proud of the generation we're coming into to where they don't have to go out into the world that young anymore. They can make 6 figures from home. You don't have to worry about your kids even being out in the street no more. They can make bread from home. Okay. That's incredible. No, Act, you didn't grow up. You're not in tune with the culture. You're not in tune with evolution of humanity. No, at 15 years old, we are going to protect our youth. You're lucky, Curtis King. You're lucky I didn't come for you. I would pop these nails off real quick and come at you. Let my children be on a stream and be on a lot. What? You gonna have a couple high heels and boots up in you. Jail is the safest place for you. I'm just letting you know that. You're lucky your community's still protecting you, because that's something that still black people still have. We still have the street justice. We still believe in street justice. We still do. So I pray and hope you better go offline. You better get some help. You and Drake better go.
Get some help.
You better go into what are those things? Those retreats.
Go into
those retreats together. Come back as Buddhists. I don't know what y'all gonna come back as for real, but y'all need to go get some help. You guys are criminal. That was a criminal activity. I'm gonna call it what it is.
Yeah.
And we don't need to be uplifting these people anymore. Once it comes to light, no more excuses.
Shame on you, academics.
Shame.
Can't do it.
Shame.
And with that said, man, there's a couple other things we could probably get into, but we're gonna save that for the Super Bowl episode, man. We're gonna get into that, man. That's the next time you see us.
But again, shout out to the collective. Shout out to all the people who are starting to police these things.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people who really care about their culture to know that it's not all good. We take the good and the bad. We take the good and the bad. We know we have areas to improve in. We uplift the good and we work on the bad. Academic is the work. We have to weed these people out. They've been a part of it too long because a lot of people that we thought cared about the culture didn't. They cared about their money more than they cared about culture, and they cared about us. So as a people, we're weeding them out. But you will see our culture start to get better.
Yeah.
And once it's on a standard and once it's on a pedestal, people will understand why.
Stay above the politics. There's always going to be politics.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, your moral fiber should count for something. You know what I'm saying?
So all you are is just another human being. Treat other people with respect. Treat other people the way that you want to be treated. That is the golden rule, and it's been the golden rule across all religions and peoples because it's true.
Yeah.
Treat others the way you want to be treated. That is the number one rule that you should always abide by. If you don't want it being done to you, don't do it to anyone else.
Please. For the love of God.
For the love of God. And with that being said, man, listen, this was an episode. I feel like they're coming back into season 2.
Oh, they came in hot, man. We're coming in hot like Andy Mineo, man.
Listen, my Aaron popped off twice, beating up academics and beating up
and Bruno.
Beating up Bruno.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, is Bruno black?
You got the beats. You got the beats.
Is Bruno black?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it came out for 2 black men that I would freaking stomp out. Like it's like, yo, Bruno, if I see you, you better take your name off that record. I'm just saying that Sexyy Red take your name off the record.
Facts.
If I don't pinch your ear, it's like old soul coming out for real. I'm gonna drag you down the street for real.
And with that said, I'm Jason Audrey Roberts, aka Conquest.
And I'm Ann Mauricio, aka Ari.
This has been your Deprogrammed Podcast. And until next time, because this might be a part 1 and a part 2, so you'll see, obviously, in the byline. But yeah, until next time, stay tuned for your regularly scheduled
Deprogrammed Season 2.
Later.